We got more music coming your way right now, as we do every Thursday morning. Talk story and see what's happening with our friends from Maui Health. Want to say good morning to Chrissy Miller, registered nurse, employee health and wellness manager. Good morning, Chrissy. Chrissy. Okay, where's my phone? Chrissy, you can hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Because now we can hear you. Pressing buttons on the board this morning.
It's one of those days.
Yes, it is. And we can't wait for Friday. That's probably why.
Yeah.
Chrissy, here's a subject that haven't been spoken about for a while. COVID-19, of course. The symptoms of COVID and the flu are so similar. Why is there so much attention still on COVID?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah.
They do. COVID and flu, they
Similar.
share very similar symptoms like the fever, cough, and fatigue. So it makes it challenging to tell them apart. But why COVID continues to receive more attention? I mean, there's many reasons. Like, for example, COVID, it still can lead to very severe illness. Long-term complications. We see higher mortality rates, especially among the elderly and those that have underlying health conditions.
Yeah.
And then also with COVID, it just mutates so quickly. And then that leads to new variants, and then that just means it can spread more easily. So it just requires ongoing vigilance. And you also may still hear of people experiencing lingering symptoms. It's referred to as long COVID. Mm-hmm. And that's not as common with the flu. And that long COVID can really affect people's quality of life. So it's still important to just continue to raise awareness about COVID. Staying up to date with your COVID-19 vaccinations is still the best way to protect against serious illness. And this fall is expected to have the new vaccine come out, the 2024-2025. So stay tuned. You can continue to check the CDC site for updates, but I would highly recommend getting that vaccine.
Yeah, happy first of the month, by the way, Chrissy. And this month is National Immunization Month. What are some ways parents can ensure their children are on track with their immunizations?
Yeah, that's right. It is National Immunization Month. So good question. We know kids are going back to school next week. So exciting. So one of the things that parents can do is make sure keep the children's vaccination record. That's good so they can stay on track. Because, when you go to your appointments, when you follow up with a pediatrician, they have an immunization schedule. So it's really important that you know what that schedule is, staying up to date, and talking with the pediatrician about any questions you may have or any concerns, maintaining those records. And, we have our phones now. You can put a calendar reminder. So just make sure to keep those appointments, stay on track. And then if for some reason you get off track with your kids, just talk with your healthcare provider because they have catch-up schedules of how you can catch up if you stay off track with the immunization.
Chrissy, we know it's important for adults to receive vaccines, but which ones should they consider if they're not too sure? You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of them.
Yeah, there's a lot of vaccines. So like we said, COVID, obviously, you should stay up to date with that one. And then there's the annual flu vaccination. That's recommended that you should stay up with that. And then the tetanus vaccine, we should get one dose of the Tdap, which adds pertussis to it. That protects you against whooping cough. You should at least have one dose of that as an adult. And then after that, every year you just booster every 10 years with a tetanus shot. And then at a certain age, look into getting the shingles vaccination. And then depending on, your risk factors, it's highly recommended to get the hepatitis A vaccine, Hep B, depending on your travel, staying up to date if you've never gotten the MMR, the pneumococcal. So what I would recommend, there is a lot of vaccines. There is a schedule, and it lists all these vaccines on the CDC website. Oh. And also on MauiHealth.org, we have a health library that will give you more information on these immunizations that I just talked about.
Perfect. Well, happy National Immunization Month here in the month of August. And Chrissy, it's always good talking with you. Thanks for calling us this morning.
Thank you for having me. Have a great day.